All right, guys, we are back. Sometimes I wish we just let the camera roll.
That's the cool thing about when we do go live.
I-
You're going to see the in between.
Yeah, and like it's fun for me because
Yeah.
when I go home and edit this stuff,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
actually
we
get to
see it.
watch it. So it's
Yeah, because
fun.
I just leave the record on and it's just us a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. So anyway, we had some good off-camera conversations, but they're on camera. Anyway, so we're going to dive into the games this week. We'll break these down a little bit, kind of like what you guys are used to. First game of the week, though, we're going to go ahead and start with Short Bus Driver there versus Team Johnson. I did notice in the live chat he is going to accept the name change of All Johnson.
All Johnson,
I
all
like
the time.
it. Yeah, I like
I
it.
like it.
So anyway, back to the game though. Short Bus Driver, man, I got this as pretty easy to pick the winner of. It's going to be you, but I want to kick it over to you to hear your thoughts.
Right out the gate, Johnson, who has been playing well of late. He's still struggling in the court in the running back room.
Yeah.
I think at one time he played two guys off the same team.
Yeah, I mean it gets
Probably out
rough.
of necessity, but just not a lot to work with there.
Part of me is like, I have Woody Marks and Nick Chubb, and I feel like I want to play them, and they're on the same team, but I can't because you make fun of Team Johnson doing it all the time, so I just don't do it.
Well, that
Stay away
kind of
from it.
influence.
Yeah, sorry about
But
that.
the running back room's always been a struggle for him. He's made some nice boosts of the year, but his number one guy being down
Yeah, dude, like,
puts him back, and it's not the bye week; it's an injury.
yeah, and it's kind of funny because like there's times where I'll go into a game where like, all right, man, this is the week. I'm gonna be able to find a way for this guy to win. I was hopeful. I would always like to see you lose, and I thought this might be a week until I actually pulled up the page and looked, and it didn't take me very long to figure out it was this week because he's got Mooney in, which is probably an okay play, but dude, they don't have Penix for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
While Kirk Cousins can be good.
Mooney could have a game. You never know.
But the last time you saw Kirk Cousins wasn't anything to feel promising. But he's playing Fannin. And it's not in the tight end position, so that tells you right there where we're at.
The one thing about Mooney though is that with London being down,
what it
the
is.
ball's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, so I guess I didn't touch on that. You're right. Well, yeah, London being out makes a big difference.
With Mooney.
Yeah, and I want to talk about London for a second because I want to run something by you about a trade offer that's been thrown out there to the Team Johnson owner Mark from bedtime, of course. Somebody wants to talk about how much he wants a quarterback and needs a quarterback. I want to throw a trade to you and tell me if you feel like he's overreaching. Bedtime's asking for Patty Mahomes and Drake London.
He's overreached.
Yeah. And I can't remember who Bedtime has to give him back, but it's a 2-for-2. It's not Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Son
Jacob before he was hurt. It wasn't.
Yeah, it's Donnie wants a quarterback.
He's probably giving somebody off his bench.
Yeah, he wants a quarterback, but he's not willing to he's not going after a quarterback. He's trying to poach your other best player. Mark's like, dude, I'm willing to trade with the guy.
Well, not to mention, like, London right now is his locked for his keeper.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to make sure he's getting something back that he's going to be able to keep for one.
Right. And that's where Mark's like, dude, like, be reasonable here. Like, if we're going to trade, let's trade, but go after what you want.
Now, I understand going after Mahomes.
Yes, exactly.
What his quarterback situation is with Johnson.
Yeah.
And that is a movable piece for him. But you still got to, it's a commodity.
And that's just it. And that's why I didn't really care about the specifics of the trade itself from bedtime. I wanted to put it out there to be a voice for Mark because I had a conversation with him personally, and I know he won't come on camera.
Mm-hmm.
But bedtime, dude, listen up, man. Like, if you want Patrick Mahomes, you got a few days left.
Right now,
make a trade for Patrick Mahomes, not Patrick Mahomes and.
But what you got to keep in mind is Patrick Mahomes is still quarterback number 3. So a backup tight end, which I believe is probably what he's going to put out. He's not a backup, but one of the tight ends he's got.
He's
out
throwing
there.
Ertz into the trade to a team that I just told you is playing 2 tight ends in a starting line. Why would you think he wants another tight end to have to consider playing in the starting line? He can only play 2.
Right.
And he's already doing it.
And this might be the time to bring this stat out.
Please do.
And I was saving this for Braden.
And we can do it then again.
But I'll tell you right now, my stat that I came up this week, because I know how much you like the stat game. Ferguson, right now, tight end number 2. He is closer in points to tight end number 19 than he is to tight end number 1. 40 points separates 2 to 1. 40 points separates 2 to 19.
19.
So when we say it's all a bunch of guys, it's really all a bunch of guys at the tight end position.
Yeah, I mean, you're Donnie over here doing this mediocre, buddy. That's what mediocre is. Whenever every tight end is exactly the same. So why are you trying to just swap the same player for the same player? Nobody wants.
And why are you offering a guy that has Warren a tight end, thinking he needs a tight end?
I just can't. He got rid of Travis Kelce. Anyway.
He's the one that got rid of Travis Kelce.
So that's what I want. I'm so sorry to slip off topic there, but just first, I just wanted to be an advocate for Team Johnson because we're running down on those trades.
It's understandable.
Yeah, he's willing to deal with you, Donnie, dude. But like, understand where his keepers are, and if you need to make a trade for Patrick Mahomes, try to do a trade for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, they're definitely there. But with Johnson, getting back to our game there, no London, no firepower. I'm back full strength. Picked up the trade this week. I think I got a little better. Still got some questions in at flex.
I got a couple questions, but I don't think they're questions that are going to have to be an issue answered this
And,
week.
and the thing about my trade, I don't know, we kind of talked about it a little bit. I'm going after Jettis is just what he is right now is an average. I think he's number 14 or something in the league.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm bringing in. That's what I need is an average guy that's going to get me 12, 14 points consistently. Yeah, and that's what he's been doing.
So, I mean, I guess that's a good kind of time to bring up the trade. And, I'm not going to be a guy who defends you just because, you're my brother in this like fantasy league. Obviously, you wouldn't do the same for me either.
Right. Never.
So, but I responded in our group chat pretty quickly when there was some sort of comment about, that trade. And again, it's the name and shock value that we talk about is easy to get caught up in fantasy football. So I just wanted to put it out there to let it be what it was, that he is not currently even a wide receiver 1 in our league.
Yeah, so here's the other crazy thing about that whole trade is I actually offered the same guy to you for Devontae Adams, who is number 8, 9, somewhere right in there, which probably in the whole scheme of the season is a better trade. I pulled that one because hey, it kind of disappeared on me.
Yeah.
No, I pulled it back because, I was in those talks with him.
Because you
see. And did I make the right decision? I might not have made the right decision, because of maybe we could have worked something out for Adams.
And we probably could have, and it might all be not for anything, but I mean, at the end of the season, if Adams just stays above Jettis, then
I made the wrong decision.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Because I did try to reach back out to you, and I probably would have jumped on it, but the fact that I didn't initially jump on it does kind of give a little bit of kudos there for Jettis being willing to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Also understanding that he's not giving up a true number 1 right now.
Because I know when it all went down, you actually thought the trade may have just timed out because they only stay on there for so many days or something like that. In reality, I never did tell you. I pulled that thing back because that conversation for Jettis has been going on for quite a while.
Yeah. Well, just so we know, I don't want any of your freaking Arizona Cardinal running backs, so quit offering it to me.
I don't want them either. That's why I'm offering them.
Anyway, I got you.
Well, I thought you got rid of the one so you can get the others.
No Cardinal would I want that's not named McBride. Anyway.
No kidding.
Short bus all the way. What we got next?
I got the Big Fish, Twin Bowers. I'm taking Big Fish here.
Yeah, I mean.
Just too much firepower at the end of the day. And then when you throw in what Henderson's been doing lately on top of what Big Fish is already doing, if he can just be 75, 80% of that the rest of the year, he probably the Super Bowl guy.
Well, just a teaser, and if you've been paying enough attention, you can probably piece this all together throughout the course of this video. But I said it, and I'm standing by it, that every team that is currently 6-5 or 5-6 at the end of this week will be 6-6.
Really look at the standings and see what he's saying there, and then you'll see how these projections are going.
Drew loses. I got Big Fish. It's not the end of Drew's season. Again, we're explaining how we're doing these tiebreakers for a reason. I think it's going to be a jumbled mess next week, and this is the start of that process. Big Fish with a big win here. I got it being close, and I got it maybe as the game of the week. I do want to go ahead.
And I think it's other than the fact of who he's going against this week.
Yes.
Because we talked about a little bit ago, wide receiver number 9, Tech. You know, and that's just been all in the past few weeks. Picks up Purdy, gets, you know, he's a 20-point guy when he's on. I mean, so he's really improved his team these past couple of weeks. But I just think right now he's just going to get his wrong team.
I think you're exactly right, and that's the problem why we talk about why ultimately we have Drew on the outside looking in at the end of the season. It's not for the quality of his team. It's the route that he's got to go to get there, and he's got a shitty route that starts this week up against Big Fish, who's, you know, I just put up in the number 1 spot in our power rankings for the first time all season.
For a reason.
So there we are.
So yeah, we're both in agreement there on Big Fish. Moving on, I Know Ball versus JJ's.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one, but I think it's going to hold true for him. I Know Ball 6-5. It's become 6-6 again. You know, I think JJ's got some good things coming.
I think he did address the running back room that we've
Yeah.
been harping on all year. You know, he paid a price to get to it. You know, I'd like to ask him, was he building more towards next year?
Yeah, and that's going to be, you know, I know when we talked to Mason earlier, he's obviously with Mackay right now, so I had put it in his ear that I would be reaching out to him next week, and we're going to be able to hopefully get some answers there. Yeah, because at this point, I also can't tell if he's just fucking with me with what he's doing in his roster.
He might be. I think he does the Gainwell thing just to get at you.
I'm pretty sure, man. Because
We had this discussion earlier off record. You know, right now he does have Bijan in the flex and Gainwell in RB1, and we're quite certain he's doing it just to dig at you.
I feel like it. I mean, and kudos because
I love it.
I mean, just
As Donnie says, I love it.
yeah. I mean, that's a good move. I mean, that's how you do it right there. But no, I got to talk about Gainwell though, and I actually think this is kind of one of the things as to why I'm picking against I Know Ball. This is actually the game though, dude. This was the game where I went into it like, I feel like this is the week I'm going to go in here and think, you know, that what happened with, you know, Braden last week's not a fluke. I do think he's overrated right now, and I thought JJ might be able to come in here and still win until I looked at the rosters. Gainwell dude had 30 points last week. I'll address that.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to tell you that he had 4 single-digit games in a row right before that. So
Right.
He's still playing.
Yeah. 5 carries a game, and you gotta get the hell out of it very often. And not to mention on Braden's side there, you got running back 1, wide receiver 1, tight end 1. I mean,
yeah, I mean that's going to be enough.
I think you just got too much firepower right now.
Yeah, that's enough to get this. That's enough to get this win. You know, I stand on my concerns for him, and we can have that discussion. Which he's going to be in the wild card talks probably next week, and maybe.
I remember we both have him right there as that guy.
Yeah, so I mean we're going to have him win this week, so maybe he gets to hold off on the conversation for another week. But we do need to touch on the fact that while I'm down on some of his positions, he's got guys that we've talked about. Also, I'm down on Ibuka right now. Double digits only one time in his last 5 weeks. But here we got another guy. Higgins is right there to fill, pick up the slack.
Yeah, it seems like what Ibuka was doing early for him, Higgins is doing now.
And the rich get richer because now Jamar Chase is out this particular week due to a suspension. So Higgins targets maybe even just get a little bit more of an uptick.
I really think the thing for Braden was, ETN being RB2 for him.
Yeah, and running back 12 currently. So that's pretty big. That's a RB1
on another team.
Yeah, so he's got two top 12 running backs.
Yeah, so kudos to him for that.
Absolutely. I think it's enough though this week. Yeah. I was hoping it'd be closer, but I just don't think it is.
I'm gonna agree with you. I'm going on no ball. Yep. Beats against the Motorboaters. I think we kind of hit on this earlier.
Look at the records.
We're going Beats on this one.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, as much as I want to pick myself, man, and I could see myself winning that. Again, like when I look matchup to matchup, I'm like, I like some of these guys better than I like some of his guys, but I just don't like them this week.
This week, yeah. Not to mention, right now you're still trying to even figure out which Steeler quarterback is going to be.
Yeah, that's a mess.
We talked about your running backs from the Texans, and they play tonight.
Yeah, so I really feel like we don't have the game on for the first time all season, which is odd, but I feel like Woody Marks tonight is going to tell me right now if I have a chance.
Right.
If it's not,
Well, he's got to score.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I need 15 at least
Yeah,
to feel like I'm okay. Now I'm going to make him earn it this week.
Right.
If that doesn't happen, I feel like I'm beat.
Yeah, so definitely we're in agreement on this one here as well. I talked about the quarterback with you, but on beats, his record really doesn't show what his team really looks like right now.
We bullshitted around about like when we were talking about how the divisions could break down and like could beats go 3-0 and kind of shake our division. And I absolutely think it. I talked about Mason being the best path out of our division. I think he's going to win the division. I actually think Beats is currently the strongest team in our division, and he's 2 wins out of the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, his roster doesn't reflect where he's at right now.
Yeah, so I think that, coupled with the fact that, we're waiting on guys to kind of drop off that haven't, we thought maybe Pickens would kind of come back to reality with CD coming back. I went back and looked at the numbers, and in the last 4 games with CD back, dude, Pickens is still averaging 17.2. That's up there where McMillan is, and exactly what you said has catapulted him into the top 10. And I think currently Pickens is 7.
Yeah, he's up 7 or 8 around.
Yeah, so that might even say 4, dude.
Yeah, after this last game, he might actually.
I think that does say 4 there. So, but do got some question marks?
Well, the other thing too is, Rome seems to have taken over receiver 1 duties there. I mean, they do keep DJ Moore involved, but he's more of an afterthought right now.
And I agree. And it's odd, though, because he has, like, what was comparable to, like, what you thought of a season Michael Pittman had last year, where it's just, yeah. And is that how you would view it? Because I just went and looked at his game log, and it's like,
it started out strong. It's been
over the last, say, 6 or 7 weeks, it's like single digit, double digit, single digit, double, and it's literally back and forth.
Yeah.
So if you run that same kind of algorithm,
mm-hmm.
that the trend continues, that actually puts him to have a good week this week. I think they have an okay matchup for him to do so.
Yeah. That Steelers matchup, they're. I think I seen something before we came out here earlier that some of the so-called experts are predicting well over 100 yards and a touchdown for him.
Yeah, and so we got to go all the way back to week 4, 5 for me. Given my injuries and what I was having to do to replace Tyreek, Neighbors, and the fact that I had to keep Neighbors on my IR because we don't have that one. Do you remember who my casualty was?
It wasn't
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones was your casualty. You're right. And look what he's done since he's come back from that injury.
Yeah. I got it right here. Actually, 14 points for averaging 14 in his last 3.
And 14 points out of a running back 2/flex.
Exactly awesome. Where Tim's got him. That's how good Tim's roster is, that he's putting Jones in the flex, a guy that I couldn't keep on my roster because I couldn't withstand a 6-week injury. And he's going to beat me with him.
I mean, we've talked about how good his roster has looked all year long.
Yeah.
It just never resulted in those wins.
Yeah.
I mean, he had that one game where he was high scorer of the week early on.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I will tell you, though, Tim, looks like the Mixon is officially out for the year now.
I mean,
you might give up on him now if you haven't already.
They
did come out and said he's out for the year.
Okay, I haven't heard. Yeah, I mean, dude, that was one of those odd things.
I just think when that was his keeper.
Yeah, and I feel bad for Tim because, dude, it was like week 6, and
that was just the one guy they kept saying could be, could not be,
and there was never any updates.
No. And they were talking as early as week 4 he could be back.
And they wouldn't report anywhere. It was so odd. I felt awful for him, you know. I want to say, you know, he kept trying this, that, and the other Tim to try to get back. I'm like, dude, you fucked yourself, man.
Yeah,
It's such a lineup half the time, dude.
Your keeper never scored 1 point in the entire year.
Man, like, dude, you don't play. He wants to sit in a group chat and talk about college football, coaches, and divisions.
Or the Falcons.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about.
And leaves his freaking kicker.
I know.
Come on, man. Be better, Tambo.
He's good. What do we say? He's good Tuesday through Thursday.
Gosh, man. I need you Sunday, buddy.
Yep. All right, moving on. Mark's Monsters bedtime.
You know, we dogged him all year.
We're going to keep dogging him. It's who he is.
He won't defend himself in the freaking group chat.
Yeah. He just sits there and takes it. I asked him, got a boob job yesterday. He just rolled with it.
But I'm picking his ass this week. I like what he's done. Like, we have ragged on him, and I know exactly what you're gonna. I'm not even gonna tease with it. I'm gonna let you kind of dive into what you got.
All right, let's just start with bedtime. You know, one guy that we've talked about, you've talked about a lot. He ain't gonna play all year, and it's finally starting to show up. Jacobs probably out this week. On top of that, Mark goes out last week, and we had a lot of discussions about this. He goes and makes that move, shifts off Harvey, brings in AJ Brown. A lot of question marks, a lot of questions being asked. Fast forward to Wednesday morning, big scramble for the running back. Mark gets him.
Yep.
So here's Mark's lineup now with AJ Brown in it, Wilson in it, and we're picking. And it's probably because of those guys.
So I mean, this is kind of where I want to touch on this from a few different angles. One, I want to talk about. I think I have talked about earlier in the show about appreciating that he's doing his job.
Yeah.
For the rest of the league, and that's what you should do if you're bad enough to be at the front of the waiver wire each week. At least be the one to go in there and get the guys that are replacing people for injuries. So
do your job, be the guy.
Yeah, so you're protecting guys or other owners. And he's doing that. We ragged on the RJ Harvey trade. Again, my issue wasn't the trade itself, it was more so the timing. Yeah, and I had a private discussion with Braden and expressed that as well. Like, if that move happened a week earlier, it wasn't going to be an issue. And
that is a move we talked about that very well both teams could have won.
Yeah,
and still can win.
Yeah. So, I mean, that being said, he's out there working, man, and he piped up in the group chat and talked about how his roster is stacked. And I'm not going to say that it's stacked, but he's done a darn good job. And I for the sake of hoping I'm right, I ragged on Josh Jacobs all fucking year, saying just when you need him, he ain't going to be there.
Guess what you need this week, Donnie?
A win. Guess who ain't there?
Guess which guy is going to give you the loss?
And who's on? Yeah, exactly. And that's
Josh
just
Jacobs' replacement.
Exactly, and it just comes full circle. So obviously, I don't wish any harm on Josh Jacobs, dude. These are athletes, dude. I never would risk or wish injury on them. But I'm saying, based on the history of Jacobs, he's never played a full season.
No, he's always been a guy that's been in that top 4, 5, 6 in the league, and then something happens.
That's how he ends up getting traded, because you just can't stay healthy. So not that he's not going to come back, and I hope he does, and I hope Donnie's able to take him and have a full roster to battle for that playoff spot. But this is why I was down on Josh Jacobs.
So yeah, we both got Mark actually with the upset there.
Yeah, and it's going to be a big one, And what we haven't talked about is if Donnie wins this game, what's that going to do to everything? Because he could be the guy based on he standing wise and record wise outside of me, he's got the best matchup. I don't feel like I have a good matchup at all.
Yeah.
Donnie gets the win there. He's the first team to jump to 7 wins Again, we talked about how
We
we
talked about
thought
gotta get
everybody's
eight.
going to be at
You gotta
6
get eight.
wins. We got everybody else getting beat this week, and Donnie's the guy who gets a win.
Yeah.
We might be having a different conversation about that time next week.
Very well could be. See how that goes.
Yep.
Moving on. Last game, Battle versus the Warden. And the Warden is just decimated this week. This
Yeah.
is not his week for sure.
And I'm not going to sit here and cry the blues
No,
about
that's
it.
part of the game.
Yeah,
Everybody's got bye weeks. Everybody's got injuries.
Yeah, nobody was crying when I was losing guys on bye weeks. Nobody was crying when you did either, you know. So I'm not gonna. You beat Braden when he didn't have Jonathan Taylor.
Part of the game.
It is. So
I still got a week coming up with no McCaffrey.
Yep.
I know what's coming.
Yep. So I mean, it just happens. Sometimes it happens on the same week. I mean, we talked about that in an early episode. I choose not to play fantasy football that way, and sometimes it functions, sometimes it doesn't. This year it did me earlier in the season. Now it's doing Scott, so obviously he plays the same way I do.
Well, obviously,
both
we
don't
talked
win.
about, obviously, we talked about Scott, but we should have probably talked about this back when we was talking about your game. But let's circle back to that Jamar Chase suspension. The trickle down from that. One, it does affect your game, I believe,
Oh, big time.
because you're the one that went in, made a move.
I I picked up Yosevas there, hoping, maybe I know I'm in scramble mode.
Yeah,
this
and we
week.
obviously talked about Braden with Higgins is probably going to capitalize on that.
So,
And obviously Scott, it's especially the same time that all of his guys are on bye for that to happen. He ain't got a lineup together yet. I don't even know yet.
yeah, I mean, I jumped on there. Gosh, it must have been yesterday morning. I thought he was fucking with us too. I'm pretty sure he was.
Well,
I thought
yeah,
he was going
took
to leave
them
it that.
all out.
I thought he was going to do that through the show recording,
Just
just,
to give
so
us something
we
to
didn't
talk
have
about.
nothing, so we couldn't
Bash
have
on what he put
anything
in
to
there.
say.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the fact that you at least put something in there. I think there was a hole or two left last time I looked. But I mean, it's not a knock to his roster. It's just bad timing for a loss.
Yeah, because coming right out of this week, his roster is, other than Garrett Wilson being injured, it's almost back to full strength
It is, and
looking good.
it is, but it's also in the must-win week.
Yeah, but he's also in that must win.
Yeah, so that's what
Yeah.
happens. You know what I mean? It's like he can be as good as he can be, and he's got the points to back it up.
Yep.
But all things created equal,
Yeah.
I've scored however many less points than he is.
Right.
We're gonna roll into next week with the same fucking record, playing for the same playoff spot.
Same division,
Yep.
actually.
So we'll see what happens.
And then Battle on the other side there, we've talked about him a lot today. We've had him on. We've asked him a few questions there. Obviously, we're both going Battle here. We've talked about.
Yeah, he's got a lot of confidence in this game, and actually he feels I mean, again, like I actually won. That's kind of why I wanted to call him for a second, because I was wondering, like, was he going into it thinking that he could actually win the division? Like, I feel like he can,
Yeah.
and he, that's kind of the way he sees it too.
And then especially when you look at the lineups this week, and then he's like, "Oh, I got a real good chance now.
Yeah, so he gets,
I got the schedule right
once
now."
you start looking at your specific path.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, oh boy, his eye probably got this big when he
Oh
sees
my
Scott
God.
in a roster this week. So.
You think he wondered, man, I better not lose this week.
Yeah.
They're going to bash me on the show if I lose this one.
But I tell you what, though, there's 6 or 7 guys this week that are all sitting here saying the same thing. I better not be the guy.
So as we look back, how we pulled, I mean, we both agreed this week, but that's only happened one other time. But the way that we picked these games, all those teams we talked about in the playoff race end up being tied. And that gives us so much more to talk about next week.
Yeah.
Come on.
And then on the other side of it, like,
And that actually brings Battle up into the tie.
it does. That's exactly my point. But I want to talk about the other side of it. If you're the guys that we're expecting to win this week, there's some guys that are setting up for some huge upset potential.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, myself included,
Yep.
Big Fish and Braden, we could very well fall back into
That's
that
what I
group.
mean. And then
And I'm going to tell you, one of us probably will.
and that's going to elevate one of the guys from my group, I'll say. That's going to elevate one of those guys into that front group.
Right.
So it's going to be, we
Yeah.
could be having a completely different conversation next week. It's going to be fun. I have not seen shit on what's going on in the football game tonight. I got a very important guy for my sake riding out this week. But again, I have myself losing. I'm just hoping I can be the upset.
Right, I feel you. I feel you.
So anyway, that's probably it though, right?
Yep. Great show. Good time. We gotta go live. We've been dying for that day all year.
Yeah, we have. It's been, I appreciate Donnie, and if you or your guys from work are still watching, Donnie, dude, I rag on you all the time, man. But I appreciate you more than most, more than you would ever realize, dude. You're a true one, and you're a real one. But appreciate you getting us to 50 followers, so we can get to that live, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Obviously, we're going to expand on that. So. Other than that, though, man, I'm kind of ready to get up out of here. But I tell you what, I feel really confident that this is actually the first show where we specifically catered to our group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we just said, like we didn't get caught up in the NFL and the stats. We made it about our people, and I think they're going to appreciate it, and it's going to make a lot of
And
sense.
I'm really curious if we can get some feedback, especially this week when we broke down some of those playoff races and what we think. And what do you guys think? I want to see some of that feedback. Now, knowing what we said about some of the other teams and their path to get in and their tiebreaker situation, how that affects you.
Yep.
You know, you don't think about the other teams as much
Yeah.
as your own path.
Yeah, so I want to issue a challenge here before we get off the air, and I want to challenge Big Fish, Dano, please do your research on the rest of your season and ask your questions before it happens. Like he gets panicked sometimes when he sees how something plays out,
Oh, yeah.
or he gets caught up on what the website says.
Yeah.
And that's what I cannot express that enough about when we get to those last couple weeks or that last week when we have to manually edit those tiebreakers.
Yeah, and that's one thing to keep in mind. I know we've talked about at the beginning of the season. We want to put it on record. We've talked about it a few times throughout the season, but the way the website breaks the ties is not how we break the ties. I think they strictly go off maybe just points.
Because they don't incorporate it into a division system.
But how we do divisions and everything, it changes how we do those tiebreakers.
Yep.
So what will look like somebody after that last week is in the playoffs might not happen.
Yep. So please pay attention here. We have the facts. You guys have all the information you need.
And you know, always if you want to know what happened, if it didn't make anything, just ask the question. We'll go through the reasoning.
Yep.
Show you all the logic behind it. But you know, we're not just trying to say, hey, we're out here to screw one team. We're trying to do what's best for the whole league.
Yep.
Keep it fair, and find out who really needs to advance on.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate you, brother.
Right on, brother.
Hey, we're going to do it again next week, and I have a feeling it's going to be a lot more difficult.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be crazy.
Good luck.
Yeah, you too, brother.
All right. See you guys.
See you.
Fuck this guy.
See you.